Hi, and welcome back to the channel UFO Hunter UK. Well, yesterday I left us with Shannon Olsbury just about to get into the lift at beach level. Unfortunately, guys, I want you to hold that thought for a minute because after I'd done that video, there was something that I went back to look at and it was really bugging me. So I really want to go back to Campos and when he was in that foyer. It is important. And it is actually to do with the Olsbury statement. So let's go back to the Olsbury statement. This is where he said, well, hold on. I hear a drill on the other side of the door. So I said, okay, well, you hear a drill. You might want to go up to the floor above or below to try to catch the guy in the stairwell. So now let's go to Campos. Okay, so you see the metal bracket and then you started to hear what you believe to be a loud drill. Okay, so that goes back to when he was on the phone, actually, to Olsbury. He said it sounded like a loud drill. So he said, could you tell where the noise was coming from? He said 32135. Okay, so you hear a loud drilling coming from 32135. Could you tell if it was deep into the room or right by the doors? It was deep in the room. Okay, and it was pretty rapidly. Okay, so you hear this. You obviously know that this is not a normal sound. Now he says, so you start walking down the hallway, huh? Towards the center core. Yes. Right around 32129, is that the area? And this is where Campos has said he was shot while he was outside of 32129. But it took the detective to say it was 32129. So again, that could be deemed as leading. So here we have Campos now saying he's in the foyer, he's on the phone, although he doesn't say that in here. He's on the phone and he hears a loud drilling. Go back to here. Olsbury says that Campos has heard the drilling. So now I want to go to the FIT report. And it says here, Paddock fired 2 single gunshots into the Las Vegas Village area. And then Paddock fired an undetermined amount of gunshots into the Las Vegas Village area. Well, the last sentence, undetermined, could be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, whatever. But let's say it's 5. So that's going to make a total of 7 shots. So you go back to Olsbury's statement. Where in there does it say about 7 shots? Let's go back to Campos. Where does it say in there about these 7 shots? So where did the FIT report get these 7 shots? That made me think that the only place that they got those 7 shots is indeed when they heard or they watched that video. You know, the one where it's called First Shots Video. So let's go to the spreadsheet. Here we go. So these are the 7 shots from the First Shots video. Okay, they lasted, as you can see, for about 8 seconds. Now there was a gap of 31 seconds until he started firing 100 shots. So that leaves me, in my opinion, that those 100 shots there are the ones that are identified in Olsbury's statement and in Campos's statement. Because, guys, if the rapid drill was these 7 shots, I have to say, Mr. Campos, you haven't done a lot of do it yourself. No, these are not the rapid drilling. It has to be this one. So here we go. So he's now started firing at 3 minutes and 51 seconds into the first shot video. This is his first round of 100 bullets. So this, as I said, is when Campos had heard this with Olsbury. Here, we got to say it ends at 5 minutes and 44 seconds into that video. So let's just round that up from here to here, and that would give us roughly 2 minutes. Now we know, don't we, guys, that there are 35 shots through that door of 32135. So before Paddock shot through the door, it took Campos 2 minutes to walk from the foyer to 32129, whereby he got shot. Really? It took him 2 minutes to walk from the foyer or in the foyer to 32129 before we get shot. Now the assumption that we've got to make, guys, is this. Now between 5 minutes and 44 seconds at the end of those 93 shots and to the 7 shots is 7 minutes and 33 seconds, which is around about 1:49. So that means to say that somewhere in there that Paddock had noticed through his people camera or the slamming of the door, which it couldn't have been because the door would have slammed up here, that he then went to the door, fired the 35 shots that we don't hear on any video. However, in a previous video, from the cabbie video here, I did say that those were the possible shots in the hallway. If that's the case, then that don't add up. So I want to say, guys, where in Campos' statement does it say that there were 7 shots? Where in Aylesbury's statement does it say there were 7 shots? It's obvious. Neither. So where did they get the information from the 7 shots if they never seen the video? Because neither one of these guys had said it. Perhaps you can help me out. Perhaps there's a statement out there somewhere that I haven't come across that they have indeed said that there was 7 shots fired that they heard. It couldn't have been Varson and Hendricks, because Varson and Hendricks said that they could hear gunfire from 1 floor above. So that was the thing that was bugging me, was those 7 single shots, and then the 2 minutes roughly from walking from within the foyer on the phone to Aylesbury and getting to 32129. So then I said to myself, okay, so people could come on here and they can say, do you know what, UFO Hunter? He could have been in the elevator at the time of those 7 shots. So he could claim that he didn't hear those 7 shots. But guys, there's only a gap of around 2.5 minutes from that last shot to the 100-round burst. So no, I don't believe that they can come back and say that Campos was in the elevator when those 7 single shots went off. So that was what was bugging me last night. Now we're going to move on to Aylesbury just getting on the elevator at beach level. So here, this is where we stopped yesterday, where he said he came out of the office, he's on his way to the elevator. That's when he decides to call Shuck. Not in the office, on his way to the elevator. And I need you to remember that, guys, because that could be well important. He rang Shuck as he's getting to the elevator, because I want us to think about all the things that Shuck had done going from the 62nd floor to coming out to the elevator. We'll cover that later on, but I just want you to remember that. So Shuck turns around and says, copy, he was en route. I got in the elevator at beach level. This elevator takes you up to the 32nd floor. Now, something else I want you to remember. He's at the beach level. He hits the 32nd floor. So he's pressed the button for 32. So obviously now somebody has pressed the button at casino level. So he stops now on the next floor, which is the casino. And he says, and I saw a guest there, and I'm getting ready to tell him, hey, look, you've got to get the next one. Because we're going, we're trying to find this guy. Now, here we go. Shannon Aylesbury says, then the next thing you know, 3 security managers and 2 Metro cops come running in. And they're like, I've already had 30 seconds. And they're like, there's a shooter up on the 32nd floor. And I said, a shooter? I'm on my way up there for somebody who's bracketing the door. So now let's look at this paragraph here. Now, don't forget, guys, the bikers are already up there. Biker 1 had said at the end of his interview that they were the first ones there and nobody else. Biker 2 have said that he's gone up in the elevator with his security operations manager. So let's break this down. Who are the 3 security managers and the 2 Metro cops? Well, I'll tell you what, let's go to the FIT report. Here we go. So it says security manager Oak ran to the centre core guest elevators of the Mandalay Bay and met with his security managers Sol, Umstop, and LVPMD officers Hendricks and Varson. As they arrived at the elevators, engineering supervisor Shannon Aylesbury was holding the elevator door open. Okay, so he's got to that level, he's opening it and he's keeping the door open. Aylesbury was using a key to lock out the elevator and keep it from being stopped by guests trying to get on. It continues that there was conflicting information on the exact location of the shooters, whether it was the 31st, 32nd or the 33rd floors. While on the elevator, they decided to check all 3 floors. So 32nd is already pressed because Aylesbury had done that at beach level. They've got into the elevator and they've pressed now 31 and 33. Now, as the doors opened on the 31st floor, security managers Oak and Umstad and LVPDM officers Hendricks and Varson exited and walked up the 100 wing upon hearing gunshots coming from the unknown direction. The security manager, Sottle, and engineer Aylesbury continued to the 32nd floor on the elevator. So now that's where I'm confused. So where on earth is this 4th security manager? The one that's with the bikers upstairs. According to Biker 2, that is. Let's go back. We've cleared this up now. We know who the three security managers are. Two of them got off with these two, which is Varsons and Hendricks. Okay, so we now know from the fit report that it was subtle going up with Aylesbury to the 32nd floor. So as I said, guys, in relation to Biker 2, who is this fourth security manager that is already up on the 32nd floor while these guys are on their way up? That's why I said I am suspicious of Biker 2 saying that there is a security operations manager there. Let's continue. So the door's shut. You know they're getting all ready because we're going up. The doors open up. I was trying to call out on the radio to let Shuck know, hey, look, get out of there. I don't know if it went through because being in the elevator in the core is a real dead area. The doors opened up on 32. Well, doors opened on 31 first and the Metro officers got out and turned back in because we were trying to get into the stairwell. Okay, so he sort of said to himself there that although he said doors opened on 32, he corrected himself by saying, well, the doors opened on 31 first. Okay, we continue. So the doors open, the doors shut. Now, this really did confuse me. It says, go back up to 32. Doors open up. That has to be a mistake. He's got himself confused because he's at casino level. They've all jumped in and they press now 31. So we know for a fact in a lift, you won't go up to 32 and come back down to 31. Obviously, you would stop off on 31 first, and that's what he said. But then he confused me because he said, go back up to 32. So we come out of the elevator, and just as we're coming out of the elevator core, Redaction and Redaction, the security officer, are coming around the 100 wing, and Shuck kind of holding Campos. So let's have a look at that again. So he says, we're coming out of the elevator core, Redaction. I would love to know what that redaction is. And Redaction, the security officer. Now, I believe that could well be the bikers, one of the bikers. But I don't know who this is. Perhaps you can help me with that. So we have said that the biker, the security officer, are coming around from the 100 wing and Shuck kind of holding Campos. So I think when you look at Aylesbury's statement, it accounts for all the security managers, okay? Biker 2 had said that he was up there with his security manager, and yet I have just shown you that that isn't possible because all of those security supervisors stroke managers are accounted for. So it really makes me question Biker 2. Now I want to get into the Shuck and Campos when Aylesbury come round the corner. So that'll be another video. That'll be the one following on from here. So thanks for watching, and until the next video, take care.